Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is November 19th, 2023 and we are getting into the volume 182 of me answering your immigration related questions. As always, before beginning this video, I'm gonna mention, as I mentioned in every video, I'm not an immigration attorney. This is not legal advice. All the information provided in these videos on this channel are directly from official government sources like USCIS and of course the Department of State with their visa bulletin. So let's start with the very first comment from Fawazal Hetari. Fawazal, thank you very much for being publicly subscribed to this channel. Really appreciate it. So Fawazal says you're wonderful and great with these videos. Keep up. God bless you. God bless you, Fawazal. Thank you very much for your kind comment. Really appreciate that. Moving further to the next one from Mary Curia. F4, so siblings of US citizens, brothers, sisters of US citizens, documentarily qualified, August 2021, priority date April 2007 from Kenya. Am I current? Alright, Mary Curia, let's take a look at the visa bullets and see what's going on. So you are from Kenya, so you're in all chargeability area, F4, and you're documentarily qualified, which is definitely great news. So let's take a look at the graph A, final action dates, which shows us the availability of the immigrant visa. So right now, F4 on 22nd April 2007. So April, you're also April 2007 and you are on 2nd April 2007. So yes, you are definitely current on the visa bulletin. So with that being said, you are already documentarily qualified and your immigrant visa is already current. Now I can't tell you for sure how long you've been current because this visa bulletin, let's go back to like September, let's go back to August 2023, and we're gonna change and that's, by the way, if you ever want to go back in time in a visa bulletin to see previous visa bulletin issues, the easiest way to find it is just to do some changes to the URL itself. So instead of, you change the month and then make sure to change the year. Keep in mind though, it goes by fiscal year, so that's why it was showing 2024, but August 2023 is still in 2023. So let's take a look at August and see what F4 looks like, because the reason why I'm trying to do that is because I want to see how long you've been current, because depending on how long you've been current with your priority date, it might change whether your interview has already been scheduled or not. I'm thinking that your interview has already been scheduled because I'm pretty sure that the visa bulletin has been on April 2007 for quite some time now. I actually do have an I-130 pending for my brother, so I always look at the F4 category myself when the new visa bulletin comes out, but I don't know why it's taking forever to load. But Mary Curia, you are current. Couple of things that you can do is, first of all, you do qualify for, oh, actually finally loaded. Let's take a look. Yeah, see, even in August 2023, it is still on April 2007. All right, so you've been current for a while now, which means that your interview most likely have already been scheduled. If you want, what you can do is you can call US Embassy in Kenya, and I'm gonna give you their link, their phone number, so you can find it, and ask them. Say, hey, I'm documentarily qualified. My immigrant visa has been available for a while now. I have been current for however long you've been current for, and say, hey, can you give me, the information on when my interview was scheduled? I'm thinking it is already scheduled. You just don't know it yet because they cannot send you the interview notification earlier than 30 days before the actual interview date. Sometimes, very rare cases, it is 60 days, but most of the times it is 30 days. And then another thing to keep in mind, if you want to take advantage of it, because you are documentarily qualified and because your priority date is current, you can actually request expedited processing with NVC if you have a good reason to do so, which whenever it comes to family immigration, I think literally everyone who's waiting for a family reunification case, they have a good reason because you have to see your family. So here we go. Here's the US Embassy phone number in Nairobi. That's most likely where you're going to be going through your interview. Give them a call. Just be polite, professional over the phone. If they don't give you that information, don't be upset because most of the times they don't, but it is worth a shot. So let me post the link right here, and we're gonna move on to the next one. There we go. And if you can, please come back and let me know. I'd really appreciate the update, how it went. Okay, moving further to the next one from James Danke. Hi there, I'm an applicant for I-130 F1 category from New Zealand. So F1, it's sons and daughters over 21 of US citizens. I'm documentarily qualified and priority date July 2016. Can I get an estimate of when I will get an interview? Thanks. James, thank you very much for asking your question. So you're from New Zealand, so all chargeability area. Let's take a look at the visa bulletin. So you're already documentarily qualified. So once again, we're looking at the graph A. So you're in F1, and right now the priority dates that are as of December 2023 are current as of right now are January 2015. And you are July 2016. So you have, let's see, January 2015 to July 2016. So you have 1 year, and January is month 1, July is month 7. So roughly about a year and a half before your priority date becomes current. So you still have a little bit more time to wait. Obviously, once your priority date becomes current, it is after then when the interview is, when they schedule the interview. So you still have a little bit more time to wait. Just keep checking the visa bulletin. I think F1, if I remember correctly, it has not moved for a while now. And sometimes it is not such bad news that it didn't move for a long time, because it means that in the next few months, potentially you might expect some really positive movement, like we have seen, for example, on F2A. In the past few months, we have seen a really good movement on F2A, which has not been moving for a long time. Again, this is just a speculation, and like I said, I'm in the same boat as everybody else here. I'm waiting for I-130, my brother, another 13 years as of right now. So I completely understand what it is like to wait. But James, you are pretty close, relatively speaking, compared to a lot of people, a year and a half. So hopefully we will see the positive movement, and it will be faster than that. But again, keep in mind that sometimes visa bulletin, it does not move at all. Sometimes it retrogresses. So for now, for you, it is important to, once the new visa bulletin comes out, just keep checking it on this channel. Once the new visa bulletin comes up, I make a video every month. The new visa bulletin comes up, and I compare it to the previous issues of the visa bulletin, just to see what moved and what didn't move. So for everyone who's not subscribed to this channel yet, please consider subscribing. All right, let's move on to the next one from MD LMNI is Nisha. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce. Hi, why don't put the A number in the application? Is there any identification for all immigrants, right? It's the A identification for all immigrants. Okay, so MD, yes, absolutely. If you do have alien registration number, the A number, yes, you definitely put it in the application. Most of the times, whenever you're starting an actual immigration process, you are issued an alien registration number. And if you are dealing with any kind of applications afterwards and you do have the alien registration number, yes, absolutely put it in. It is the identification, and yeah, it will make a lot easier for an immigration officer reviewing your case. So for example, if you are, let's say, granted asylum, right, you definitely do have your alien registration number. Whenever you're applying for, say, application for employment authorization document, you are selecting the category based on which you are applying for employment authorization. You're saying, I'm a granted asylum, right? And putting in the alien registration number makes it a lot easier for the immigration officer who's reviewing your application to pull up your case and see that you are in fact granted asylum. So yeah, the only reason that you would skip putting in the alien registration number is if you don't have one, if you've never been issued one. But if you do have it, yes, of course, absolutely, always put it in the application. So let me put the response here, and we're gonna move on to the next one. From Gabriella Luz PM, I moved but already got my green card. How can I change my address? I did the whole thing but can't change my address in the website. Okay, Gabriella, great question. So here's the thing. let's say if you have a pending application right now with USCIS for a naturalization, all right? In that case, yes, it is extremely important for you to make sure that the address is updated with USCIS, which is the AR11, I believe. Let's double check. I'm gonna take a look. Forms, let's see. They should have put it right here on the very front, but they didn't. Did they really not put it here? No, they didn't. Okay, so let's go to all forms. I want to make sure I give the right numbers for the forms. So yes, AR11, aliens change of address. That's it. But if, let's say, you have received your green card, let's say 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, and you're not applying, so you don't have any kind of any applications that are pending with USCIS, you're not doing anything with USCIS, because the next step would be you know, applying for naturalization, but you did not apply for it yet, no pending cases, you don't have to worry about filling out the AR11. AR11 is for immigrants that are in the process, that have some kind of application going with USCIS, so that just in case, you know, if you move and there is some kind of correspondence with USCIS that they need to send you, that it comes to the correct address. So with that being said, once you're applying for your naturalization, you will be putting into the application your updated address anyway. So USCIS will have, with the new application, they will have your updated address regardless. So for you at the moment, the only two things that you need really to worry about is updating your driver's license, your ID with the current address, and then filling out the online form for USPS. USPS, again, you really don't have to do that. It's really helpful if, let's say, you know, if you're moving kind of, you know, relatively in a rush, right? And you didn't have a chance to update all of your, you know, all your bank accounts, all your whatever, you know, where you get, you know, the address where you get the mail. What USPS forwarding service does is, if you do still get some mail at your old address, USPS automatically redirects it to the new address, and it costs like $1, I think, dollar something. So it's definitely worth it. You know, it allows you not to miss any of your mail, which is definitely helpful. But as far as the USCIS goes, you don't need to worry about AR11 unless you have a pending USCIS case. Okay, let's move on to the next one from E. Wharton. Hi, documentarily qualified from January 2022. Okay, E. Wharton, let me know what the question is. I'm assuming you're waiting for an interview and that's the question, but I do need to know your chargeability area and your family preference category in order to give you some rough estimates. So please let me know. I'm gonna put some need more info. And if you can, don't respond to my comment within your comment with a follow-up info, because I'm not gonna see those. YouTube does not send me those notifications. I don't know why. Okay, let's move on to the next one from Ashley Martin. I'm a US citizen applying for my spouse in the Dominican Republic. Priority date is 6/25/23. All right, so just June 25, almost July. I filed the I-130 petition and my case status went from 14 months out of Nebraska to 2 months and then 1 week. Nice. However, the week passed and my case status online says estimated time until case decision. Your case is taking longer than expected to process, which is typical. That's what it most of the time says. So I guess the case status on the USCIS portal is not always accurate. Oh no, not at all, unfortunately. So when should I contact USCIS for a status update, and do we have to wait for an I-130 interview, or will the next step be completing the NVC paperwork and then the interview overseas in Dominican Republic? Yes, so I'm gonna answer your last concern first. Yes, so the next step, once your I-130 is approved, which it didn't get approved yet, but once it is approved, because you're in immediate relative category, well, not you are, your spouse is in immediate relative category because you are a US citizen. Once your I-130 is approved by USCIS, it will be transferred to NVC. It is pretty quick. Most of the times it's transferred within like few days to a week. It is transferred and you get the email from NVC saying, hey, welcome, you know, here's your NVC portal, here's your invoice number, here's your case number that you can use to log into the NVC portal. You log in and then you submit all your I actually do have a video on this channel. I think it would be helpful to you. Check it out. It's called Documentarily Qualified. What does it mean? I think that's what it's called. And basically in that video I show an actual NVC portal that was already documentarily qualified, so you can see everything that you will have to submit, your affidavit of support, your DS-260. I do have a separate video on DS-260 on how to fill it out. And then which fees you have to pay and what civil documents you need to upload. I would recommend checking it out and start preparing, because if you can put together all of the documents before you even get that welcome letter, as soon as you get it, you log in, you submit everything, you can do it within a few days. The faster you do it, they are pretty quick on the initial, and try to get documentarily qualified on first submission. It's, you know, it would be nice, it would save a lot of time, because the first time they review it quickly. If you do have anything that doesn't work and they say, oh no, we need a different whatever, we need more, we need your W-2, you didn't upload your W-2, for example, right? The second submission, they can take up to like 3 months to review it. So it's better to try and get documentarily qualified on the first submission. But let's go back to your USAS concern now with the processing times. Let's actually take a look at the processing times, because I'm kind of curious myself to see what's going on. So for everyone who's watching this video, to show you some navigation on USAS, if you want to find processing times, they did some changes on their website just recently, like a week ago. So now it's much easier to find. You can click on tools here at the top of the navigation menu, and then the very first option under self-help tools, check case processing times. So we're gonna go right there, and hopefully it doesn't take forever to load. There we go. So we're gonna select in the form I-130, petition for alien relative. From category, it's going to be US citizen filing for a spouse, parent or child under 21. All of these categories are within immediate relative category, so it doesn't really matter. And we're going to select Nebraska and get processing times. Let's see. So 13 months as of right now, it is showing 13 months. Let's see. So you have applied, you have your priority date in June 23. So 13 months roughly, it's going to be end of July 2024. Roughly, that's when you're looking at by the USCIS processing times. But again, USCIS processing times, they're not very accurate. In fact, they say right here it's only 80% of the cases. So 20% of the cases, they still take either longer or shorter. All right, but you definitely still have a little bit more time for, you know, for the I-130 to be approved, at least judging by what this is showing right now. So I would recommend waiting, giving them this 13 months. That would be end of July in 2024. And if by then nothing happens, then you can submit a case inquiry with USCIS. But I'm pretty sure, don't let this number scare you, because most of the times immediate relative applications, they are reviewed way faster than what is shown in the processing times. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it is reviewed way before that, and I'm not sure if it's going to be by the end of 2023, but I would say by the first quarter, by the end of the first quarter of 2024, I think it's already going to be reviewed. And then, like I said, from then on, it's transferred to NVC pretty much immediately. As fast as you can get documentarily qualified, which can, that process can take up to, another month for you to fill out the forms and submit them. And then obviously after that, there is also interview involved, and that can take up to, up to 6 months in most cases before the interview is scheduled, depending on how busy U.S. Embassy is in Dominican Republic. So there is still some time involved, but like I said, Ashley, you definitely have some things that you can prepare on, just so that once it opens up, you can quickly knock it out and just, wait for, so that the hardest part is waiting, and all of the documentation, all the bureaucracy stuff is, taken care of. Okay, let's move on to the next one from Selman Uzun under part 2.2 about 245I. What do we need to do? So that was question on I-485, application to register permanent residence. Let's take a look. at USAS. So we're gonna find that form. Let's see if it's oh, you see they didn't update this part yet. Okay, well, that's fine. Let's see, 485. And I'm gonna open it. And this is USCIS website, official government website for U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. All of the application forms, petitions, whatever you're starting, whenever it comes to immigration process, you can find it here. So here we go, application to register permanent residence or adjust status. I'm gonna click on that, and I'm actually gonna open the actual application. There it is in PDF. This particular application is not available at the moment to be filed online. So let's scroll down to part 2. Part 2. There you go, application. Oh no, never mind, this is still. Okay, there you go. So, are you applying for adjustment of Immigration Nationality Act? Ah, I see. Okay, great question. So, if you are selecting any of the categories here from the part 2 application type or filing category, which pertains to family-based, employment-based, special immigrant, like for example, a religious worker, special immigrant, juvenile, asylee or refugee, human, basically everything between 1A and 1G is one of the categories that, the eligibility categories that you have selected in this application. In that case, you will be clicking yes, and then you would have to obviously fill out the rest of the application and also add a supplement A to the form I-485. So that's really pretty much it. Most of the times, well, it really depends on, I'm not gonna say most of the times, I think most of the times it's gonna be yes, but then of course there are some situations where there would be no. So let me know in the additional comment if you do have any additional questions about that, and I will be happy to address them. Okay, so let me pause the answer here, and we're gonna move on to the next one from Amir Persaud. Hi sir, my priority date is September 2017, my case F1, unmarried son over 21, visa bulletin is not moving for like 6 months now. I have 2 kids, one is 24 years old and one is 20 years old. Please for your advice, sir. My God bless you always. Amir, thank you very much for your kind comment. So let's take a look at the visa bulletin, see what's going on for F1. You are in 2017 right now. Right now, on the graph A for the availability of the immigrant visa is on January 2015. So you still have a little bit of time. Let's see, January 2015, and you are September 2017. So roughly about two years and 8 months, roughly. Hopefully we'll see some good movement on the F1. As far as your children, it really depends how long your I-130 petition has been pending, because it is the time that you can subtract from your kids' age in order to see if they can qualify as derivative beneficiaries under the CSPA. I don't think your 24-year-old is gonna qualify because you still have a long time to wait. You have another 2 years, 2 and 8 months. So that's roughly another 3 years. So your 24-year-old is going to be 27 years old. So unless your I-130 petition has been pending for like 6-7 years, you won't be able to subtract that. It's not going to be enough time to subtract in order to qualify your 24-year-old who's 24 right now under the CSPA. Your 20-year-old, on the other hand, maybe, again, depending on how long your I-130 has been pending with USCIS. So take a look. This is the amount of time you might be able to subtract. If it is not enough, which it's possible that is going to be the case, then I would definitely look into a couple of things that you can do. You can look into obviously applying yourself, submitting your own I-130 for your kids. Again, they're going to be going in the F1 just like yourself, which it's a long time to wait. But it's definitely an option. And then another thing that you can do for a little bit of a more immediate resolution is to see if you can apply for your children, if they can apply for a non-immigrant visa, so that they can at least travel with you and visit you and travel back and forth while their own petition is pending. Honestly, I would recommend for everyone who's watching this video, I would recommend, if you have finances and if you have time that you're okay with, investing and potentially losing, because if you do have an immigration case going and if you are applying for a non-immigrant visa, there's a high chance that it's going to be denied because you have an immigration case going and you have an intent to immigrate to the United States. But it doesn't mean that these non-immigrant visas are approved. Honestly, anybody reasonable would approve that, because it only makes sense. You say, hey, this person, they have an immigration petition, but in the meantime they want to be able to travel back and forth to visit their family. There's nothing wrong with that. So it's definitely an option. But Amir, I hope it works out for you, and you can you can figure out the best way to do it. Okay, let's move on to the next one from RR Creation. RR Creation, thank you very much for another question, appreciate it. So RR Creation says, one more question, sir. My wife income is 0. I need sponsor for her father, cause I-130 approved and need to NVC process. Okay, so I need to submit I-864A and from my wife I-864 both form. Really appreciate it. God bless you. RR Creation, thank you very much for your kind comment. God bless, appreciate that. So yes, so whenever it comes to to the petitioner who is it doesn't have enough income to be a sponsor, because as a petitioner you have to be a sponsor, all right, whether you like it or not, you have to be a sponsor. So you submit your I-864, your wife is going to submit the I-864, the affidavit of support, and it's not going to be enough, but it is only after she submits her affidavit of support you will be able to add additional affidavit of support as an additional, as a joint sponsor on the application. So the initial one, it has to be submitted regardless by the petitioner, and if you do have the access to the NVC portal already, you will see that. In fact, I would recommend check out the video that I have on this channel, NVC documentarily qualified. What does it mean? In that video, I show the real NVC portal that has been documentarily qualified, and in there you can actually see, because that person, the documentarily qualified, that was going through the whole process, they actually had to get a joint sponsor on their application. So check it out, because it might be helpful for you to see. You will have the field specifically for your wife, and you won't be able to change. She will have to, even with the 0 income, she will have to fill out that I-864. And only after she does it, there will be an option above to add the joint sponsor. And then in the joint sponsor, then you can provide all your information. But it is done, everything is done from within the NVC portal. It's pretty straightforward. When you do add the joint sponsor, it does take some time, because you actually have to request from the NVC to add the joint sponsor. But it's quick. It's like, I think it's like within a day, 2 days, they approve it, and then you can start your joint sponsor application. So hopefully that helps. Let me know if you have any questions along the way. And like I said, check out that video, because there you can actually see what it looks like in the actual NVC portal. Okay, it looks like we got another question from RR Creation. So the priority date is 6 January 2023, foreign state of chargeability, Nepal. And visa class is F41, so F4, so brothers, sisters of US citizens. So how long need to wait after approved I-130? Thanks so much, sir, for replying me. Of course. Okay, so here's the thing. F4, forced preference category, brothers, sisters of US citizens. You're in Nepal, so that is April 2007 on the visa bulletin. Here it is, April 2007. So it's a really long time. As of right now, it's like 16 years wait time. But a question I have for you, because you said that your priority date is in January 2023, which is like only like 10 months ago the application has been filed. And you already were approved on the I-130. So that raises a question for me. Are you sure you are in F4? Because I have myself F4 for my brother, and it's been now almost 4 years since I have filed the application, and it hasn't even been reviewed by USCIS yet. So, and he's also in old chargeability area. So let me know, because I think it might be maybe it's not F4, maybe it's something else, or maybe the priority date, something doesn't seem right with the numbers. So please double check and let me know if I'm getting this correctly, and I will try to address it in the next volume. So let me post the response, and I'm gonna address one more question for today. Okay, fine, let's do two questions for today since they're both from the same person, from Harpreet Kaur. So first question from Harpreet, he says, can you please explain what do you mean by documentarily qualified? Thanks. So documentarily qualified is part of the process in the family reunification. Once your I-130 is approved by USCIS, it is transferred to NVC, National Visa Center, for further processing, where you have to become documentarily qualified. Documentarily qualified means you establish the same thing, the relationship between the petitioner and beneficiary, same as USCIS, which is very straightforward, nothing crazy, all right? You're filling out the DS-260, which is the application for the immigrant visa, all right, with the US Embassy. That's number two. You're filling out the affidavit of support and then providing the financial document, which is probably the most important part of becoming documentarily qualified, is establishing that the petitioner is a qualifying sponsor, all right, which means that the petitioner can support in case of any kind of emergency, whatever, that the beneficiary is not going to be relying on public benefits, but instead the sponsor, the petitioner, will be able to take care of the beneficiary. That's really it. That's part of the, becoming documentarily qualified with NVC. Now the second one, hello sir, I'm F4 category India, so F4 brothers, sisters of US citizen. India has a separate chargeability area. Priority date is April 2006. I have not received or asked any letter or paperwork from embassy. When I will be qualified for the interview. Please help. All right, let's take a look, see what's going on. So looks like India is a little bit further away than all chargeability area. So actually, let's take a look at right here, graph B, because I don't think you have been documentarily qualified, because first of all, you're not familiar with the documentary qualification process, and second of all, you didn't really receive anything for the NVC. So for the graph B, which shows us when the NVC portal is going to be open, it is showing right now February 2006, and you are in April 2006. Okay, so you are February, March, so you are like 2-3 months away from your NVC portal opening up. So you're gonna be dealing with the documentary qualification process really, really soon. Hopefully we will see good movement. Again, this is a rough prediction because things don't move, all right? It might stay the same for the next 3 months, we don't know. But as of right now, roughly 2 more months before your NVC portal is gonna be open. So for you as well, I would highly recommend checking out the video that I have on this channel, documentary qualification. What does it mean? It's here on this channel. It has a dark background, yellow letters, the same as pretty much all of the other videos. I'll try to put it in one of the cards on the top so that you can find it. Yeah, just prepare as much as possible, collect all the documents so that once your NVC portal opens up, you can quickly submit everything, quickly get documentarily qualified, and then you will just have to do some more waiting, which seems to be roughly about another 1.5 years before your immigrant visa becomes available. So thank you very much everyone for your questions today. Hopefully my answers were helpful. If you have any follow-up questions, don't hesitate to ask them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, God bless, and I'll see you all in the next video.